Oh, darn.
But that's what we're seeing now.
I'm sorry, I'm having flashbacks to the animated movie.
Oh, yeah. So, besides the G1 reissues, there's more cyberverse toys.
Okay.
There's One Step Changer, Bumblebee, Megatron, and Prowl. There's a Scout Class Ratchet, Scout Class Shadow Striker, Ultimate Class Bumblebee, Warrior Class Hot Rod, Warrior Class Prowl, and Warrior Class Soundwave. So, the One Step Changers are just kind of like flip and done, more like the rescue bots.
Yeah, which I would imagine would be a good thing to give to kids.
I mean, my son would love it.
Right.
He's got... I kind of stole his Bumblebee. All it does is his legs turn into the car and you just roll him around on the ground.
Okay.
The Hot Rod doesn't look too bad. He looks like how he is in the show. He's very bulky in the show. Soundwave looks pretty good. Everyone really loved him dancing in the TV show. The TV show's not bad. I could do without the more Bumblebee radio talk, but
Right.
sue me. Then they're coming out with a new Swoop figure.
More Swoop.
That one,
Yes.
but red. Because if you look on the packaging for Swoop on the back, he's red, not blue.
Okay.
The rest of the Dinobots have red on them, no blue.
Mm-hmm.
And people were kind of upset about it, so they're finally giving us an exclusive Amazon red Swoop, which that's how he is. It's literally, they just changed the blue for the red. Comes in a special box.
Which I do love the box.
Box isn't bad. But it's an exclusive, so Amazon pricing, of course.
Yeah. As one would expect.
And then Transformers Siege has a Greenlight figure. You won't remember Greenlight from G1 because she was a background character. So in the Combiner Wars of the Prime Trilogy toy line, there were the Combiners, which Swoop is one of them. He's got that little hand shield thing there.
Yep.
Greenlight's coming out in the Siege line. Okay. Greenlight was just one of those background fembot characters.
Mm-hmm.
Then they just randomly threw a name on her. But she's coming with her own customized hand.
Okay.
$45 US dollar on Amazon because it's exclusive. But you also get, I can't remember the name of the sidekick, the little mini bot that she comes with, which they come with these little effect parts when you attach them to stuff.
Okay.
Like each of these Target Masters and Micro Masters come with these effect parts to look like they're shooting, attacking, or being damaged by an incoming blast, because you're really adamant about this battle damage.
Or in this case, it looks like fire of some sort, at least to me.
Yeah, coming out of Lionizer, I think that might be, but...
Yeah, I could see that being
You had Alita 1, Moonracer, Firestar, and now you're having Greenlight. And I think we need one more combiner for a limb, and then you have a full Fembot combiner. Which would be the first in history, if you're not talking... No, those were... No, not all of them were female. But yeah, that's coming out. Then there's the Studio Series 38 Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie.
Which I'm getting a page not found.
Yeah, I see that.
But if it looks like anything I remember, then that would be amazing.
I'm trying to look it up. So Studio Series 38 Optimus Prime is this. Just like from the Bumblebee movie.
Yep. That
is the only reason I'm going to ever buy a Studio Series. Along with the Bumblebee. The Bumblebee looks pretty good. And to scale, too. These I've never bought a Studio Series in my life, but I will buy these.
I still have got to see Bumblebee.
I hate you so much. Bumblebee was such a good movie. We took the kids with my mom and Megan, and it was such a good movie. My son was just sitting there in awe, and he's only 3. He loves Bumblebee. He took his Rescue Bots Bumblebee and Optimus Prime with him and just sat there watching it with them for the entire movie.
Oh, that's cute.
So, there's a lot of toy news. There's also a new wave of Star Wars Black Series coming out. General Grievous is the headliner for that one.
Okay.
So he has his 4 arms, 4 lightsabers, and he has soft goods for the cape.
Okay.
So, well, I mean, because like my Revan figure and my Kylo Ren, they have that cape on there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not just hard plastic.
Right, it's
but
actual
he's getting
fabric,
that cape that you see.
Yeah, he's getting actual fabric cape, yeah.
And I think it has Velcro on there, so you are able to take it off.
All right.
It's not a bad looking figure. It's pretty tall too.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's been a lot of toy news. I'm just not even going to get into any more. I'm still upset. I can't find any Siege leader class figures at Target yet. All I can find is Micromasters and Target Masters and.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I forgot to add this in. There is talk of a new Optimus Prime leader class.
Okay.
I think it's leader class. One of the big ones. Have you seen the Unicron trilogy cartoons? Armada, Cybertron, Energon.
Bits and pieces. I haven't seen the whole thing.
So that's the Galaxy Optimus Prime, but it looks to be the Siege mode because these are completely different legs. The stomach is pushed out instead of sucked in.
Okay.
Like where the grill is.
Mm-hmm.
This is just an in-hand picture. There has been no video yet.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, this could also be a fan done. Nobody really knows. It's just rumor and speculation, kind of.
Oh, okay.
But it looks pretty good. So, let's go on to the gaming news side of the world.
For some reason, I feel like I'm playing Mega Man 2.
Oh yeah, no, that's all just different effects I put together. That's from nothing.
Yeah.
I spent some time.
Which sounded good.
So EA can stop now.
Well, they could have stopped for a while.
So they just canceled another Star Wars game.
1313 much?
They've canceled like 4 games. This was the open world one they were talking about.
What? Why?
So there's a report that EA doesn't want to do too many video games for Star Wars. All they've released is Battlefront. And then there's been like the 2 or 3 mobile games that have been out.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't BioWare, which is a part of EA, do
SWTOR? Before EA took over.
Okay.
EA has a 10-year license deal for video games. And in the 10 years, how many video games have they released?
2?
They've shut down more games than anything.
Yeah.
BioWare has actually been pitching ideas to them, but EA keeps turning them because they don't want more games out. BioWare is only allowed to be working on SWTOR, which is Star Wars The Old Republic, MMO. They're only allowed to be putting out new content to that, updates, and DLC and stuff like that, but they're not allowed to be working on anything else because EA is what LucasArts was back in the day now. EA has full rights to make these games, but every time they go to make a game, they pull majority of the developers off, so the game spirals down and crashes. And then there's been like 2 departments that have been shut down due to this.
I was going to say, EA is not like LucasArts was in the day, only because LucasArts actually made more games than they probably canceled. And they actually made decent Star Wars games.
Well, apparently this open world game was going to be you play a team of smugglers.
Okay.
Or something like that, probably during the rebellion. But again, that's another game canceled. That's another game we're not going to play. Yeah. Can't get 1313. Can't get this game. We're not getting any RPG single-player games anytime soon. There's a game in development for the mobile game, but I first saw a pre-register for that beginning of last year, and that game's still not out. All they have is the tactical game. EA has shut down just every project. And it's getting really ridiculous because I would love to play a new KOTOR. I mean, that's, again, BioWare has been pitching ideas like KOTOR. It's probably not going to be KOTOR 3 because that's expanded universe stuff.
Yeah, that's Legends, yeah.
But they've been trying to pitch a new canon game that they want to get going, but they keep getting shut down because EA doesn't want them producing anymore.
Which is a shame because BioWare was pretty good. Granted, they're probably better back in the day, but they're still alright at the very least.
Yeah. Well, D&D is getting a new book, and it's nautical. So strap on your sea legs.
Yar.
And this is by comicbook.com. Dungeons and Dragons will be getting wet.
Giggity.
With their first publication release of 2019, which is nautical themes. It's scheduled for spring 2019.
Okay. So not that far off.
They've got different water-themed titles like Under the Sea and Long Walk, Short Plank, as well as covers showing off different nautical or themed artwork. A description on all 4 books. So there's going to be a 4-book total for nautical because about every year they put out like a book or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you need to float your boat for the world's greatest role-playing game. That's what they told comicbook.com. I mean, they haven't done much ship stuff before. This will help. It's probably going to be like you go from Sword Coast to another area.
Right.
So, I mean, that's not too bad.
It's not horrible.
It's not horrible. Have you ever wanted to play a Fantastic Four?
I can't say I've wanted to. It would have been interesting, but...
Well, Marvel is teasing a possible Fantastic Four video game. And they've been out of the business for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, they just finally came back to Marvel Comics.
Mm-hmm.
They have been gone for years. They haven't had a single issue. They've appeared in the comics, but they haven't been in...
They haven't had their own run.
They had their first issue, and it wasn't very Fantastic Four-y, because they're picking up where they kind of left off during the Battle World thing when Doctor Doom took over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have kids. Sue and Richard have 2 kids, which have powers and are super geniuses as well. You got to remember, this Marvel Now stuff has been going on for
a few years, probably
10 plus years. I mean, you have Spider-Man, who has gone through everything and has done Spider-Verse to having Doc Ock take over his body and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had Iron Man upgrading himself all the way into like augmenting his body completely and then going into a coma and then forgetting everything. Thor's not around anymore. Now Thor is what's her face from the movie?
Jane.
Jane is now Thor, so there's a female Thor. Miles Morales isn't even on his universe anymore. He's skipped on over to the 616 universe. So it's been going on for a while, just like how the new 52 of DC Comics is a giant mess as well. Even Marvel Comics is a giant mess. You don't even know where to start anymore. But
you're assuming there's a starting point.
Not anymore. I mean, they do an event every 3 months, and that's upsetting people. They reported that the team over at Second Diner, made up of several ex-Blizzard developers, was heading a new Marvel game, and it looks like it's going to be Fantastic Four. But I'm not entirely sure I want to play a Fantastic Four game. I mean, we've had the Marvel Avengers games that came out since GameCube and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They were fine.
We've had Lego Avengers.
Lego Avengers and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a new DBZ RPG game announced.
Ooh.
The Dragon Ball Game Project Z action RPG. So in 2019, the project of a new game focusing on the world of Dragon Ball Z begins. And more news coming to Dragon Ball Fighter Z. The warrior from Universe 11 is joining the fight. That's a quote from them from Twitter. The Universe 11 is a whole thing with Dragon Ball Super,
which I still need to catch up on.
I have got past episode 2. I'm just horrible at it right now. But I mean, we're also getting Kingdom Hearts 3 in a week or something like that. And Anthem's set to come out like next month. Oh, speaking of which, EA has been stating that Anthem from BioWare is the game's